Hello, hello, hello. It's no brush required again. My name's Tamara Grand, and you are with me and my co host, Barbara Reade, for another chat, another Tuesday Artists Chat. Let's grab Barb. Where are you? How's everybody this morning? Hey, Val. Good to see you. Here she
Officially
comes.
grabbed. Officially grabbed.
Officially grabbed. Squeeze.
And I'm in a squeeze. I'm in a different spot, so I have to adjust. Ooh.
Oh, yes. Hi, Douglas. Yes, look at that lovely festive ensemble behind you.
Nice, eh?
It's gorgeous.
Yeah. I quite like it.
Are you feeling all Christmassy?
I am actually. This has been a nice lead up to Christmas so far. So we went to see the Barra McNeils the other night. Do you know the Barra McNeils?
No.
Oh, Google them. They're a family from Roman. Where are they from? Oh, he's gone. Out east.
Oh, okay.
Out east.
Related to Rita McNeil?
No, I don't think so. No, not at all. But they have kind of this Gaelic, Irish, East Coast kind of music, and just wonderful. So we did that a couple nights ago. Loved it. That totally got me in the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun. That's a Canadian thing.
It is a Canadian thing.
We actually went out on Saturday night to see the lights around the lake. So there's a lake called Lafarge Lake, and the city does a beautiful job. It's like a 45-minute walk around it's an artificial lake.
Yeah.
But they make like this beautiful winter wonderland of all the lights in the tree, and it's themed, and there's a pirate ship in the water. And we used to take the kids when they were little, but I said to my husband on Saturday, I'm like, let's just go because I need to do something to start feeling Christmassy because I'm not feeling very Christmassy yet.
No.
So no.
Do you decorate? Like, do you put stuff out?
I'm really lame.
Hey, you have one ornament that I
have
sent
one.
you, so you should put that out.
It'll go on my tree. I will put a tree up. I struggle with the whole early getting going on it. So I don't get a lot of support at home. Nobody else is into it. So, and when the kids were little, yes, we did it all. And now I tend to be like, oh, I'm a minimalist.
See, Roman loves it. I get pushed back when it's time to take things down.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like, we'll be into the second week of January, and I'm like, it's got to go. Well, no, I think we can do. It's like,
okay,
no.
So
I'm tired of it.
I'm like the 28th of January. Get it out of my living room. It's
January or December?
Sorry, December.
Yeah. Okay. No. Don't say January. He'll hear and he'll be like, "Ooh, Tamara keeps it up that long."
No,
not really.
Oh. All right. Well, let's get to it. Today we have a guest from your part of the woods. Margot Roi. Mm-hmm. You have met Margot in real life.
I have.
I met Margot on here about 10 minutes ago. Yes, thank you, Brenda. December 27th. Out it goes. Yes.
No, Brenda, that's not good.
You can be my friend.
That's very Scroogey because it's just the day after Boxing Day, and it's still, still kind of festive.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Sorry.
All right,
Sorry,
Margot. Here she comes.
Margot.
Hey, how are you? Hi, everybody. Happy almost holidays.
Happy almost holidays. Happy almost holidays. Exactly.
So are you an early decorator like Barbara, or are you like me?
Well, usually around the first week of December, something sort of happens, and I still, unfortunately, I hate to sort of say this out loud, but I do like a real tree.
Oh, yeah? Yeah.
So the real tree, I like the smell. I know. Yeah. I should have not one, but I do. And the tree and the decorations are all from when my daughter made them when she was small. So nothing, we keep bringing the same decorations out. They're so fantastic.
That's what I love. I can tell you the story behind every ornament that I have. If it was like from a student at school, because you taught, right?
Yes, I did.
In a past life. So you know what it's like. I have so much stuff from kids.
Yep.
And it reminds me of my teaching days. And then I have all my little Ms. Reade number one teacher ornaments that go. Do you have the number one teachers? Stuff?
Yeah, we have one number one teachers, and I've got stuff from the principal. I got stuff from other teachers. Oh yeah, it's all there.
Yeah. My favorite are the glass.
I was the number one teacher. We can't have two.
My favorite are the glass ball ornaments that they all did at preschool when they were little, and their hands on them.
Oh,
those are just, I love to pull those out every year, and I'm like, how were those hands so tiny?
That's special. That's special.
Yeah. So, Margot, where do you live?
Well, currently I'm in Oakville. I've been living here for, I don't even know how, 35 years, maybe even 40. I can't remember. I moved here in the early 90s, and yeah, I'm not from here, but I'm living here now. Yeah.
Where are you from?
I'm from a small town called Dundas, Ontario. Hi, everybody.
Yeah.
But I actually, we lived out in the country, part of it. So near Coketown, Orkney, and that area. So there's farms all around us. And but we didn't have a farm, and it was country living all the way. School bus all the way to the schools, and yeah, that's where I'm from.
And were you an artist when you were living out in rural Ontario?
Well, let's just say that things came together for me more when I went to Sheridan College, in Oakville. But at that time, I was at the School of Crafts and Design. So we had a school that was separate from the main campus, which it is now, but it was sort of like, it's a little remote, and we had all the crafters there. It was so cool, you know, ceramicists and glass blowers and wood makers. And I was in textile design, fabric design.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I love the patterning. I just loved all of that wallpaper and pattern, which I learned how to do that. It wasn't necessarily designing fashion, but it was just the actual surfaces. And then eventually from there, I did get gigs and jobs with designing yardages. I guess we can call them yardages.
Yeah.
And these stores would give me these silk yardages, and I'd be like painting it all by hand, and then they would make and they would make them into these creations. And I had quite a lucrative business in my 20s with hand painting scarves, because everybody loved scarves then.
Yeah.
And silk screening and yeah, I love Gouda and French dye, and I got all the way from Montreal, and it was so cool. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because I'm like completely ignorant about how all of this works.
Yeah, me too, actually.
So
I want to hear more.
If I buy wallpaper or fabric, because I've been a quilter in a past life too. So if the artist is making the designs for those, how does it go from your design to being on a bolt of fabric that's 20 meters long?
Well, the technology certainly has changed from 1976.
A little bit, eh, Margot?
Pardon me?
A little bit.
Yeah, so you know what? I don't know. I'm sure that you can just feed it to a printer and boom, it's done. But we had to hand cut everything, and we had to adhere it with, you know, photos, like in a photo booth, and it was quite intense labor. And then you would just print it, and you'd have your screen, it was kind of like offset, and then you print it over and over again, all by hand. And I love that labor intensive stuff, much like your guest last week. I'm a worker, and I like that. Okay, now what do we do? Okay, now I can make purses out of these. No, I can make scarves. I can make, you know, and so I love that type of thing. Yeah, it was good at the very beginning of my artistic career.
Yeah, so I've met silk screening. I remember doing that in school, and that is quite a process. That's not like layering on the different colors, and you have to almost visualize what comes first, what comes second, what comes third. You have to have a bit of a math brain, I think.
Yeah, and it's very precise. There are methods where it doesn't have to be precise, but if you're going to line it all up and make sure that the red is on top of the whatever, it's a process for sure. But from there, I actually got hired as an interior decorator, and I ran this quilting shop. And so I
Where?
Quite a bit, yeah. And
where was it?
This was in Toronto. It was Bayview and Eglinton.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I moved up there in my early 20s and ran this store, and we did all kinds of, you know, pillows and interior decorator. And then I thought, well, I think I'm going to offer some quilting classes. So that's when I got the love of teaching, but I also got the love of designing my own wearable art. So I did a lot of that. So that was in at that time.
Yes.
Time. So I did a lot of that, a lot of big quilts, and taught a lot of quilting classes all over the place. And I kind of put that away for a while. And I thought, I like this teaching gig. This is kind of good. And so I thought, well, I need another degree other than Sheridan. So I moved myself to Windsor, Ontario.
I went back to school, eh? So you went back to school to get your teaching degree.
No, that's not yet. So
not yet. Okay.
So I went to University of Windsor to get the university degree because Sheridan is a degree, but it's not university, quality. So I went there, and the funny thing happened to me there. I learned how to paint, and I got this design head, right? I've got this business head at this time, and I went sunked right into this University of Windsor, where it was like a snapshot from 1953. Like, I couldn't believe it. It was like everybody was still doing abstract expressionism. Everybody was like hanging out, oh yeah, it's all about the concept. And I was like, what? Are we making money at this stuff? What's going on? So anyway, I totally submerged myself into that, and I was totally brainwashed. And it was like, okay, it's about the concept now. All right, fine. I'm going to do some performance art. But I learned how to do painting a little bit like that. And lots of shows. And as I said, performance art, installation art. I really got into installation art. So
okay, I got to back you up.
There's a lot here.
I know. Because I just had this picture of you doing performance art. Tell us about that. Like, what did you do?
Well, anything kind of performance art is that you're talking about your piece. You could be reading poetry. You could be dancing on a stack of whatevers. You could be tying yourself to a cross. You could be whatever your concept is, right? And you're sort of acting it out. You're acting out. Not now people are going to say, "Oh my God, she's weird. I'm never buying a piece from her again."
No.
but anyway. So then, believe it or not, from there, I really, really liked that performing thing. And, go ahead about 10 years from there, I ended up being a jazz singer. So that's part of my thing after I went to Teachers College. So after the University of Windsor, then I went to Teachers College and, real fast, packed up my daughter and went up to North Bay and got that degree, came back down, got a job in Dundas.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were you teaching at, like an elementary school, public school system, or college?
Everything. So secondary for 30 years.
Okay.
University for, I want to say 12, maybe 10. I can't remember. 12 and 10. And then now go ahead.
No.
Oh, no, it's through the university education department. I did U of T, and I also did Brock University. Did that for quite a long time. And that's what I taught. And then I decided to retire from all of it. And when I did retire from school, I got a job at DVSA, Dundas Valley School of Art. So I just teach part-time there. And when COVID hit, I did a lot of their online classes right here with Zoom. So that was quite nice.
Right.
And then from there, I decided to do personal mentoring. I did a lot. Yeah.
That's amazing career path. I mean.
And jazz singer.
Oh yeah. I got a CD out somewhere. But anyway.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I loved it.
I love it.
I loved the performance. Like, as you know, Barb, teaching is a performance. So
it is. It totally is.
It
is. And so you taught at U of T in their education department.
Yeah.
And what do you teach at Dundas Valley School of Art?
Anything. Abstract 1, Abstract 2, beginning acrylic. I do some workshops, that type of thing. I'm cutting back a bit because I really want to get prepared for shows, and I built some work recently, and it takes me a while to sort of get a new body together. So I'm working on some new bodies of work for some shows in the spring. So I'm just working on that.
Apparently you have a very sultry voice, according to Melody. Amazingly sultry voice. We won't make you sing, but if you feel the muse and you decide to burst into song, we'd be okay with that, eh?
Absolutely.
Now.
No, because that is something I cannot do. I cannot sing. And if I could come back in another life with an incredible skill, it would be singing.
Well, it was fun while it lasted. I mean, you know, singing is about your body, and the same with art. And your body has to stay 100% on track and tuned up, right? It has to be. So I thought, you know, I can only do one at the time now, and teaching as well, always teaching.
Yeah.
So I'd be teaching and then doing these gigs on the weekend. I thought, what am I, Super Bunny? I have to, like, you know, calm down here. Yeah. So then I decided to concentrate on my painting and drawing skills. And so that's what I've been doing and working intuitively through that. Yeah.
Right. So you are still teaching in person and through Zoom on your own
Well,
or just now?
I decided to put that on hold, only because, if you know, Barb, it takes so much of you to teach. And when I was teaching at the secondary level, my whole focus was helping students find their own voice that needed a voice. And there's so many that do. And I really wanted that, because I wanted to find my voice at the time too. So now when I was doing the mentoring, I think, well, you know, what's your voice about and how do you want to find it? But it takes so much with all the PowerPoints and all the prep and all the individual researching you have to do for each of your students, which is fun. I love it, love it, love it. But it takes a different headspace, and loving it. But I want the headspace to be about me.
Yeah, well,
at this moment, how dare I?
That job is very creative too, and you know, you only have so many hours of creative energy in you in a day, right? Like, I'm a teacher of different things. I teach fitness, and there's a huge creative component to that as well. And part of the reason why I took 8 months off last year was because I needed to just focus my creativity and my most creative time of the day in the studio, not on other things.
That's right. So I have a studio right now. You're inside my winter studio, which is nice and compact and cozy. Actually too hot, but in the winter, I mean, in the summer, I'm out in the garden. I've got a huge garage that I built, and it's beautiful. The garage doors are open. The birds are singing. But again, nice. It's a very active area, so the construction, as you know, with the road work and you've got leaf blowers, you've got kids screaming. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna have to hunker down again. So anyway, thank goodness for noise canceling headphones.
Oh, right.
Oh, so you use that? Okay, interesting. Yeah.
So, is your studio at home then?
Yeah, both.
Your both studios are at home.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's the same with me. I love not having to go anywhere. You can be in your pajamas all day if you feel like it.
Yes.
Well, I often don't
happen.
Without clothes on, but let's see. But I mean, yeah, I am very lucky, and I apologize, you know, for saying that, but I'm really glad that I worked very, very hard to get this, and just look at my CV, and it's like, oh gosh, I'm tired just reading it, and so. Yeah. You know, and as I said, I like to work. I like to get going and work, and that's why there's so much. Where's the opportunity? I've slowed down quite a bit now, and I've tried the tent shows. I've tried gallery shows. I've tried online shows, and I'm kind of picking and choosing right now. Hopefully, I just cross my fingers that I get invited back to anything. But in the spring, I'm doing one of a kind.
Oh, you are doing one of a kind.
Oh yeah, I did it last year, loved it. And I didn't do the Christmas one. I was invited, but I can't do 11 days. I don't know about you guys, but
that's a long
I'll tell
show.
you, Margot, though, I was at the Christmas one.
Yeah, so
this year, and I found it to be one of the best shows that I've seen. And in fact, the caliber, I guess I shouldn't say I was surprised, but I was. The caliber of the artwork was more akin to what you would normally see at the Artist Project.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, they're bumping it up, because it used to be kind of like a little kitschy. But yeah, I agree. 11 days. You know Nancy Martini from the BFA, maybe not, but she's done it. She does all the one-of-a-kind shows, and she does the full 11-day thing with no help. I don't think she gets much help there, and she live paints and does all of that, and it looks exhausting. Mind you, she's young. At least I think
that's the key.
Yeah. That's the key. So good for you. So you're doing the spring show.
Yeah, and I'm doing Artist Project in the spring as well. That's right after that. So I did it. This is my 4th year, I think, at Artist Project. But they're sort of amalgamated now. That's why you're seeing a change in both of the shows.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yep.
How did you find the Artist Project? Like,
Love it.
Okay.
It's pretty. It is. I gotta say, from an artist point of view, the backstory is that you're nervous as HE double hockey sticks. There's Dundas for you. And because you're thinking, okay, was anybody going to buy anything? Are they going to invite me back? Have I got my speech ready? Do I have enough cards? I mean, the usual thing, right? And then it's showtime, and you just go for it, and you present your best work and say, here I am. I'm willing to talk about my work, and I sell. And there, I didn't sell out last time, but hey, that's what it's like. But I love it because you get to have real conversations with people interested. They really are interested, and they want to know, well, why? What is that in there? I don't see what you see. And of course, I let them see what they want to see. But
of course,
they make connections, and the things that they see in my paintings are unreal. But if it's up to them, they love it, so they have to have it.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about the Artist Project is people are there to look at paintings. They're not there to look at crafts or, I don't know, anything other than paintings. They are there to look specifically at paintings. So you've got a very engaged audience to start with. That's a huge undertaking, though. I know their application process. I've looked at it and I just go, I don't think I'm there yet. and an investment too.
It is an investment, but I think it's worthwhile investment. You got to make the jump at one point, right? And I'm fortunate enough to be able to make that jump, and I don't mind. And it is kind of a crime when you do all these tent shows and oh, drats, I didn't sell anything, or gee, I wish I sold more. But again, it's about the context. And sure enough, 3 years later or 2 years later, somebody will contact you and say, hey, I saw this painting at the blah, blah, blah. Do you have it? Oh, yeah, come on over. So that's what happened to me recently. And it was like the floodgates opened. And I thought, really? Thank goodness I didn't paint over some of these.
Oh,
sometimes you think, oh, God, that's been sitting in my studio for how long? No one wants it, like for 2 years. And suddenly, oh, yeah, we've been looking at it. We really
So you never know, right? You never know. It's the eyes on the art. Like you just need to get more eyes on your work, whatever that entails.
Well, and you know what? And close up too, because you can take the best photographs you want, and to actually be close to the painting and smell it. And I invite you to
touch it.
It's all sealed. So I say, and they go, oh, we can't do that. I say, yeah, put your hand out. I don't mind. And so they will, and I think that just engages them more, and they make more connections because then they feel part of it.
Yeah. Yes.
They're part of, they can feel your experience. And that's what I want. I want to have people feel my experience, what I went through painting it or what it's about. And so they can make some good connections that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of inventory do you need for a show like that? How many paintings, what size, like what would you take with you? I'm just curious
Well,
how you stock it, right?
Yeah. How do you do this?
Well, it depends.
Step by step, please.
Yeah. It depends. Right? It depends. I got a big booth, well, a medium booth, and not a small one. I don't even know how big it is. 5 by 10, I think. 5 by 10. And so you have to have some big ones, like large ones. That really showcases your work.
Yeah, right.
Like 4 by 8s and that kind of thing, or 3 by 4s. You can have a lot of little ones too. And I know that some artists, their philosophy is the more little ones I sell, the better it is. It's sort of like the gateway. If you take a little one, then you're going to. But that's not necessarily true, I find. I find that my small ones are entirely different than my large ones. Mm-hmm. And I credit that to the Sheridan College design, where I work on the little ones. I call them my meditative moments, because they really are just, just doing the spooky trees, I call them, and my little moonscapes. They're totally different than my larger ones. And so I've got both to offer. So yes, you have to have those to offer in a variety of sizes. But I find that people that just want to buy on the spot like the 20 by 20s or 24 by 24. And if they like a large one, then they'll think about that, and then then they'll contact you. Or I've had people just take it right off the wall and see you later. And that's good. And there's storage facilities there for artists, right? So
Okay.
if you think that you are like some of the artists who have been doing, artist project for 20 years or whatever, and they're quite popular, then they'll have another whole set or two in the storage room, and they have these runners, and there's another one sold by so and so. I thought, trats, but they'll sell them for sure. And it's, you do have to have quite a big inventory, because let's face it, when you're working, not everyone's a winner.
Right.
No. And and so when you say a big inventory, are you talking about taking like, I don't know, 30 paintings or more than that, or less?
My SUV is packed to the absolute top with bags and large paintings and ladders, and whatever doesn't fit in stays home, or I bring it the next day and store it in my car.
So you're driving, well, actually from Oakville to Toronto, that's not too bad, but you have to hoof it into the city every day. And I know it's not as long as the One of a Kind show at Christmas, right? It's what, 4 or 5 days or something like that?
And there's a late night from 10 to 10.
Oh my gosh, late
Long
night.
day.
That would be I would need a body double in for me for a late night.
Well,
I don't do well after about 7 p.m.
I know, and I'm trying to just figure it out. Some of these Energizer bunnies, as I said, I don't know how they do it. Well, they're younger, but there's got to be some sort of secret sauce. I don't know. I think they're taking coffee beans or something, because it's like Mikey. Oh no, my eyes are drooping. Oh no, wake up.
Yeah. And then you got to get home. You finish at 10 and you got to drive home, and then you got to turn around and come back. It is a big commitment. It's a big commitment.
I don't know if you've ever done these, outdoor fairs or the tent shows. It's the same, but you have to take your stuff down every night.
And then you deal with weather. I did one in a tent, and of course we had the one rainy, windy day, and you're like, oh my God, everything, your paintings are blowing, and the rain's coming in, and
I know.
I don't know if that's my thing, Margot. I gotta confess, I'd rather be inside.
I know, I did it for 2 years, and I'm just questioning whether I'll want to do it again this summer. But you know what? Once you get in there, I got to do it. Everybody else is doing it. Fear of missing out.
FOMO, fear of missing out. Everybody's doing it. I better,
Well, that's what I'm thinking about one this summer. But one of the good things is the one that I want to apply to is you don't have to take your work down. They have security.
Perfect.
They provide the tents. Because they want the tents all.
They provide the tents.
Harmony Arts Festival runs 2 weekends, and you can apply for one or the other or both, 3 and 4 day weekends, because it's over the long weekend. And they provide the tent because it's a Shishi neighborhood, and they want the tents to look exactly the same. And they have security. So part of your entrance fee is the overnight security that's there, so you can leave all your work up.
That's a no-brainer. Do it, because I think most of the tent shows here, you got to have your own tent, but it has to be white and it has to look like this, and the tent rental, and then the grid walls and all of that.
You have to do your own grid walls. They give you a table, the tent, the table, and the lighting and the security. And then if you want more than the table, they provide like risers or grid walls. You bring that yourself, but
do it.
Is that they have a company that they work with, and you have to rent from them if you don't have anything. So I would rent all the walls and bring my own table, and I had my own lights if I needed them, my own fan because it was always hot, and little hooks. But there's so many things to think about. Your little tiny S hooks, your little labels, you do this, your little that, and everything. Should everything be framed? How am I going to put my name up? Is it going to blow away? What am I going to put? So,
is my name going to blow away?
And so that kind of organization I love doing. I'm obsessed with that because I was a teacher, right, Barb? And you just okay. I've got everything ready. I've got everybody. I took kids to Europe for years and to New York City for years, and I always had checklists, and nobody lost anybody.
Yeah.
that you know of.
You got it. Yeah, I was going to say. But you got to be organized, eh? So, do you find, Margot, that the tent sales around here are worth it?
Well, I think so. But again, you gotta weigh what is success. Are you out there talking to people? Are you getting names on your newsletter list? Are you? Yeah, sure, you're selling. had to stop doing 2 of them this year because my daughter got married, drat it all. And so I missed one on the engagement party and I missed one on her actual wedding. And I found that my sales for the end of the year were a little less. And so I think there is, it can be very lucrative. Absolutely. And again, it depends on what you're offering. It you know, and people know you and they come to see, oh, I support you on Instagram. Oh, I just want one of your pieces, or, you know, I can't afford it now. And I said, well, you know what, I'll put it aside. And when you're ready to, you know, give me the full, could you do that? You know, so there's a lot of connecting friends that you make through the tent shows and even through Artist Project as well. A little different, but still the same. So it's, again, talking to people. Is it worth it? Absolutely, to be out there. Is it worth it for someone who's almost 70 next year? I mean, is it worth it to be, you know, the knees and where's the parking and where's the, you know?
Yeah, where's the park? Where's the bathroom? How close is it?
Yeah, so I'm thinking, I love it again. And every time I do a tent show and I get all some, oh, I love this. Oh,
Yeah.
And then by the end of the week, I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
Yeah. Or you get one of those hot Southern Ontario days where the humidex is like in the danger zone and they're telling people to stay inside, but you're out there with your art sweating. One
show I had, it was Environmental Canada said, nope, nobody's going out any today. There's huge thunderstorms and nope. And this was outside the tent show. And I thought, oh, are we supposed to show up? Like, what's going on? They expected to show up. Like,
Yeah. Oh, and we get that. I mean, that is a consideration. There's no guarantees in the summer with our crazy weather.
Yeah.
So where are you showing right now for this season? I'm pretty sure I just Instagram things fly by. I'm like, isn't Margot? You're in some shows right now, right?
Yeah, there's some square foot shows.
Right.
I'm in one right now at Miami Red Dot.
Right, that's what I saw. How's that
So
going?
how's that one working? Because you're here, but your work is in Miami. So what's that all about?
Well, I answered a call through ADC Design Consultings. I did last year and didn't get in. I did this year and got in with 2 pieces. So you ship your piece. This is a pay to play kind of a design studio, and they ask you to come in, and then if they love your work, then they'll take you on. It's just like a gallery. So I applied for the gallery and got into this big show, and they said, hey, for an extra X number of dollars, it was really reasonable. You know, we'll take some of your work to Miami with us. And I said, oh, I'm in. And there's so many Canadians that did that who got accepted. So is it worth it? Is it a pay to play? We could talk hours about, you know, magazine.
Yes, we could.
No, that's an interesting topic. We'd love to know your views on it.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Yeah, again, it's about your name being known. Like, are you published in a magazine? Are you somebody else is going to advertise you because they've got a lot of clout behind you and you're just an emerging artist. So there's lots of things to weigh about. Or you want to rent a space in somebody else's gallery.
Yeah.
Are they, you know, promote you? So there's because you're sitting at home thinking, okay, now I've got all this inventory. What am I going to do with it?
Yeah.
You know, and you're posting, and you get sales.
Yes.
And you get followings, obviously, and galleries are following you, but you're thinking, okay, I guess I got to make that step, right, Barb? And that's Barb, she's going to go into that show. And that's what I said, you know what? I'm just going to load up the truck and move to Beverly. I'm just going to load it up.
Put Granny on the roof and
move to Beverly.
No, I know. My husband's on the roof. And away I go and see what happens and put it out there. Now, because I work, I'm talking so fast because I know Tamara has to go.
No, but I'm okay. We're okay.
Oh, okay.
Let's just chat. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
So, I work in a lot of collections, as you know. So it's not that I get bored of it. I just want to explore something else.
Yes.
So, and a lot of people say, oh no, she can't. She's not dependable. She's changing her mind. But then you have to say, no, you know, I have to go with my heart. I have to go with what I really, really would like to work on at the time.
You know, was it Jerry Saltz? I think I saw him post something the other day about, you know, if someone tells you to stay in your own lane, basically tell them to F off. Because as artists and creatives, if you want to switch lanes and do something else, you should. that nobody should be saying to you, you paint trees, you got to keep painting trees until the day you die, or you paint in this kind of palette, that is your signature palette and you can't deviate. And I always think for myself too, I don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over again, you know, and we're artists. We should be able to do whatever the heck we want.
Yeah, I know.
It.
Yeah, and then you have to say, okay, so for instance, I've done AP 3 times and my 4th time. So the first time I had a different collection, almost sold it out. I'm not kidding you. And then the second one I came in, I sold 2 little ones. I thought, oh shit. So then the third show, I thought, okay, I gotta be smart about this. I'm gonna just have specific stuff I'm working on now. I'm not gonna bring in weird. So I did that, and I almost made my booth. And so now people are used to seeing what you want and they come and visit you. So that is a problem with changing your mind all the time and being creative. Is that, you know, not that you want to do trees all at the same time, but sort of gradually graduate into some other things. So last year I brought some spooky, crazy trees, and I was graduating on a landscape. And so a little bit. This year it'll be landscape a little bit, trees a little bit, in my new floral maybe. So you always have to have some sort of the sameness, because even though it's your hand and people can see that it's you, that's the most important thing. But your statement about your work changes. I mean, it has to. I mean, you have to grow as an artist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And your collectors are always going to be lagging. The people who watch you are always going to be lagging behind where your interests and your current focus is, especially if they're only seeing you on an annual basis at a fair like that, you know, an art fair like that.
Well, if you have a newsletter, you can always, you know, give them
of course,
a heads up, etc. And here's my new collection, and you know, all that kind of communication you have. But sometimes I don't know what the next collection is going to be. Because I work intuitively, and I don't like to work from a subject matter or a source, because then my design career kicks in, and then I start, oh, I just painted that flower exactly like it should be painted. You know, so I have to kind of say, okay, that's the kind of lily I'm going to do. Okay, away it goes out of my
get it out of here. Yeah, get it out of here.
And the same
comment. Douglas just made a really interesting comment about, you know, how he says he learns more about himself when he branches out and tries new things. And I think that's really true as an artist, right?
Absolutely. And so does your clients and your customers or your public, because they say, oh, okay, what's going on in her brain? You know, it's just kind of fun, right? Or your passion. So go ahead.
I mean, it can also be like your medium too. You know, I think of looking at my own work. I have my acrylic pieces, and then I have my mixed media pieces, which have a different look. I think they have a different look to them, but they still have acrylic, but they bring in collage and monotypes and things like that. And to me, they're almost like 2 different collections, you know? So if you're curating a space, say at the Artist Project, you almost could have like your acrylic collection in here and then your mixed media stuff over there. I don't know. Do you work in collage at all, or are you strictly acrylic? Or
yes, I do. It's part of my meditative moments. I've worked with collage many years because I love drawing, figure drawing and actual still life drawing and portrait drawing. I love to do that. And being in the design trade, you had to know how to draw, really. And through fine arts at Windsor, even though I was a painter, it was about drawing as well. So that was my second major. And but you kind of, for me, I kind of lost my way with drawing perfectly and teaching students how to shade, how to do all that drawing for years and years. I think, yeah, I know how to do that. I don't really want to do it anymore. No. So you want to branch out on your own again and encourage something else. But what was the question again? I forgot.
Damned if I know.
You asked about mixed media.
Collage.
All right. Yeah, so I like collage. I love it because here's the thing about collage for me is that you get these little pieces, and then you got to put them on here, and then it's a different. Okay, am I going to do this? It's just such a puzzle. It's like triage. Like it's like. I love that. Well, yeah, it's like solving. You got all these parts. Okay, what's going to go here? What's going to go here? Can I draw over this? Can I glue over here? And I did, when I started, I did tons of huge collages, and with drawing as well. And I based them all on my favorite songs at the time.
Okay.
I'll have them out in the garage. But I love the little ones too. I love working with collage. Again, that's a part of my meditative moment collections. But once in a while I'll pull out the stuff, and I've got a bag called Collage Crap, and I
Collage crap.
stuff I collected, and then I'll put something together. But yeah, I prefer working with textures on acrylic and drawing. That's why I draw a lot with media on my paintings, because I like that feeling of drawing.
Yeah. What's your favorite art supply store in this area?
Well, I do a lot at well, sure, DeSera's is good, and Michael's is good. Anywhere really that it's got a good sale on. I don't stick with one particular. I tell my students this too. I don't stick with one particular brand of acrylic paint. I do whatever's on sale. I don't even mind folk art paints. And they're saying, "Oh my God, folk art paints! Nobody wants." I said, "I don't care. I'm going to seal it, right?"
Yeah.
And, it's fine with me. If I like that color, then I'll get it. But I don't really have a favorite. It's
No.
Michael's has got a sale. All right, I'm there. So,
Michael's has a good sale on today. I just got the brochure this morning.
Is this the one you buy one get one free?
All their Artist Loft canvases are buy one get one, which is a great deal.
They're nice canvases.
The level 3 ones, I really like them. They're very heavy. They have a good wooden base on the back of them. The stretcher frames are really nice.
Yes.
And they also, I think it's golden, but it might be all of their acrylic and mediums. Buy 2 get 1 free.
woo, I better look at that.
Hey,
Tubes of paint.
my paint tubs though, I've got bins of
Yep.
paint, and like, oh my God, I can't add more of that. I'm always looking for like the strange new materials that I haven't used before. Have you used the flat mats, the golden flat matte paint yet, Margot?
I just started.
Well, I know
Sorry.
you do, right?
No, I just opened one for the first time yesterday.
But you bought them.
Yeah, well, I bought them and I didn't open them.
I've got so many things like that. My garage, or my studio outside now, is filled with buy one get one too.
Yes, doubles of everything.
Oh, I know, doubles of everything. So that's what I'm going to be working on pretty soon. I just got to get going.
Well, you have to be thinking ahead if you've got the artist project, and you're welcome, and the one of a kind art fair. I mean, you're going to have to stockpile substrates.
I'm doing it.
Hey, Victoria, we do not take any money from Michael's to promote, but we're glad that this was helpful. Victoria Pierce is another great local artist who does these like really, you know Victoria, eh, Margot? Yeah. It's
I
nice,
don't,
actually.
Victoria.
It's nice to see some local artists on this call.
Yeah.
Because often, we get, like, we're interviewing, or I shouldn't say interviewing, chatting with artists from different parts of the world. And occasionally we get somebody in local. So it's nice to see some of the locals in our audience. Very nice.
What's the love of So Flat? Tell me why you guys love it.
Okay, Victoria, I know you use it, so comment on it if you want to talk about So Flat. It's flat, and there's something, I really love that, but I love to use it with my other paints as well. Like, I don't mix them, but I will put a flat alongside like a washy, translucent area, and they almost sit, like, I've got a few paintings where I can see exactly where the flat matte paint is, and it almost looks like it's in front of the other paint. So it gives you a sense of dimension as well if you're not using it everywhere. And the colors are fabulous.
Okay. Is this green So Flat?
Oh, for God's sakes.
You painted it.
I know. I think it's is it paper? Is it one of my collage bits?
No.
It's paint.
It's paint.
But it's not, but I have painted papers I use. I painted from Mark Eanes' course. I have all these sheets of paper that I painted as part of like all of the color studies, and I rip them up and use them as collage. I don't know. It could be. No, I doubt it. If you would know, if it's the flat matte, it feels different. Do you know what? I'm going to use some flat mat in your concertina sketchbook that you
I'm
will
going to
eventually get
use
back.
some in yours today too.
Okay.
Sorry,
Do you like
Margot, we hijacked our
Yeah,
conversation.
sorry. This happens because as soon as, yeah, it's like squirrel brain.
Squirrel.
Flat
Squirrel.
mat, flat mat. I was going to ask something, now it's gone.
Zip.
Oh,
So-
do you ever, like, now just for your own sake, are there any online courses you like to take, or in-person courses that you like to take, not as the teacher but as a student, like just to kind of something that you've taken that it really made a big difference in your practice or anything like that?
Well, at first I did take, I'm not embarrassed to say I took one of Louise Fletcher's beginning, and I thought, wait a minute, this is what I used to teach in high school. So, yeah, I used to teach that, and then I thought, oh, okay, I kind of know, I get it, and this is how I used to get the kids to open up and with their voices. So I thought, well, okay, I don't really want to. I like the community, but I don't need to take it. So I find that's what happens with a lot of the workshops. Not that I know everything, for heaven's sakes, but I find that I've used a lot of their techniques with other students. So I would prefer just to sort of discover it all myself, right? And I don't mind the community part of it to be part of a class or a workshop, but I'm usually giving them. So it's hard, well, it's hard to do that.
Especially if you like to experiment, and that just comes naturally. But I think for maybe many artists, they're not used to that. So I think that's why those courses are so good, because they have a different way of approaching it, or maybe they need to kind of break through that wall, or just confidence, that kind of thing.
Well, and it's difficult when I am teaching at DVSA or in my online classes, and to engage in that type of play or that type of experimental, exploratory work. There's always a resistance, because it's not like, well, I can't put this on my fridge. What the heck is that? The usual comments. But by the end of the course or the workshop, they're like, oh my God, I love this. So there's always that sort of switch over, which is always beautiful to see in any student when they finally go, oh, now I get it. But yeah, they have to actually do it, process it through. So it's not just about, oh, I can't draw, I can't paint. It's mindset. And I think that's my biggest thing when I'm teaching is I said, I'm not going to, you don't have to do what I do. It's just about mindset and how to get yourself on your page. That's what it is.
Yeah. The head game.
It is.
It can be a real head game.
It is. Yeah. Sometimes, for sure. Yeah.
Do you like to paint with other people, or have you ever done any live painting? I think did Brenda McCafferty study with you at some point? Yes, and so she's a live painter. I was just curious whether you did that, or whether you like to paint in groups with other people.
Well, I painted with Alice Sheridan, and when she did hers, live things, and sometimes I do, but it ends up being more chatting than painting, which is fun. And we'd have sessions, actually, especially in the wintertime. We'd have Friday nights or Friday, I can't remember, we used to have Friday afternoons, and Brushes Up is my course called Brushes Up. And we'd paint and have a drink in our hands and just go through the day and talk privately. I'd have a private room if they needed to go through their, this is what I did this week, and what do you think, and blah, blah, blah. Or we'd paint together, and it was great, because it was winter and COVID and yeah, I found it fabulous with that students enjoyed it. So yeah.
Is that still going on at DVSA? That just that live painting group, the casual group?
I'm not sure. I did it through my Zoom. That was through my own private, but I know that I don't think they have those anymore. I think they dropped those, which is unfortunate, because I was pulling in people from Calgary. I was for everywhere, and which was a good thing. But I think they like the studio atmosphere there, which is fantastic. I think that's what they, and I know they do have Fridays with a glass of wine, and I never wanted to do that because I have to drive, but drive all the way.
Yeah.
I think they're still offering something similar to that. Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I
have to say, I've never painted with a glass of wine.
No.
Or any cocktail, for that matter. Never.
You might be missing out.
I know. I like. It's actually quite. I've hearing it come out of my mouth now.
No, I don't
Maybe I
believe
should
it.
do that. I know you don't believe it. Have you? Have you painted with a cocktail?
Oh, with a glass of wine? Yes.
Seriously, I don't know why it's not. And Margot, you don't?
Nope.
I will tell you though, guys, it's like bowling where one glass of wine can kind of loosen things, or one cocktail can kind of loosen things up and make you better. But then once you have a little bit too much, it's all downhill and it's all really bad.
I was going to say,
I had the
no margaritas and painting. Oh, God.
No, I don't do that because I've had experiences when I was singing, of course. Oh yeah, you got to. Oh, why don't you just loosen up? Why don't you have a shot? And I think, oh no, and I did a couple of times, and that was it. Okay, Margot, I think it's time to sit down.
And maybe, I mean, I could probably sing if I had a few.
No, so I thought it's professional. It's a professional gig.
Yeah.
I'm drunk on the gig. I'm not doing that. And this, I find the same with doing my art. I work from a certain time period. Then I can put brushes down and I say, okay, now it's happy hour.
There you go. After. Save it for after.
Yeah, for after if I'm going to have something. But because that way, I just don't want to have a different viewpoint. And I don't know. For me,
It's the blurry viewpoint, right?
Yeah, and I don't have to loosen up because I'm already loose when I'm doing my pieces. So I don't really need to do that. That's personal, but you know.
Yeah. Well, that was just a fun question anyways.
No, that's a good question because we've never discussed this, Tamara, like ever.
I can't believe it.
You know, that could be an experiment for us.
Okay.
Next time we're in New York, although we need art supplies, we go to somebody's apartment and maybe use theirs. Anyways, it's a whole other conversation. Does the work get better or does it get worse?
It's just different.
Versus
one old fashioned versus two old fashions versus three old fashions.
Oh my God. Well, when we had my Zoom classes, they would they'd hold up their wine and then they turn their paintings around, and I said okay, and then we sort of discuss it then, and so it's again you could just be doing it together online and having a cocktail and see where that leads. But I find
there you go. We'll do that.
Yeah.
With the time difference, we're gonna have to figure it out. There, you might have to start day drinking. Right?
You might have to stay up late.
I don't know about that. I
know.
Well, this has been fun, Margot. This has been a good chat.
It has. Well, I have one other question. We're always curious about what is your week? What is your day? Your studio practice time look like? You're very productive, so I imagine there's a lot of time in the studio.
Well, it does change once in a while. I have other commitments as well. Being old, you do have a lot of physiotherapy. I see Barb doing a lot of exercises, so I have that going on.
Yeah.
Because just before I retired, I was hit by a car, right? So that sort of like forced me to, slow down a bit. But
jeez, Margot.
Whatever. It happens.
No, I hope not.
No,
that's awful.
Getting supplies for my U of T class, and just somebody and I flipped and whoosh, down I went.
Wow.
My God.
Yeah. It wasn't fun. And that kind of slowed me down and forced me to retire.
Yeah.
I would be there. But my day looks like I'm getting a lot, let me say, lazier, I say, as we go on. I usually like to start by about 9:30, or after I finish my New York Times puzzles and and my coffees. And then I like to put a couple of hours in at a time because I feel that my eyes get visually exhausted.
Yeah.
My body also gets exhausted, and then I have to stand back and say, whoa, what did I just do? Let's do what parts are good, what parts are not bad. Oh, I do need a little bit more yellow over there. Okay, because sometimes when you're so engaged and so immersed in your work, sometimes you think, oh, why did I just put that black there? And then when you stand back, oh, that's why. So sometimes I do that. And in the afternoon, I try to do a full session until happy hour. So, and that's what I do. And sometimes I have a desk in here and I will do some small work if I feel like it after dinner, but I usually don't work after dinner. I need to visually my visually just, you know, stand. I mean, I'm not a projection line. I mean, right?
No. That's important, right?
And my work is so intuitive, unless I'm doing my little meditative moments, and then I pretty much know where I'm going to put this and that, and it's my design challenging thing for me. But my larger pieces or my landscapes or my florals, I usually just put some marks, step back, rest, marks, step back, and that way it's a give and take and a push and pull and tension release, that type of thing going on with my intuitive work. So that's what like every day. No, I don't do it every day. But when I do, it's a full day. Yeah, for sure.
That's excellent. Well, people can find you. Are you just at Margot Roi, or do you have art in your name? I can't remember.
Art.
Okay, I will put a link in the show notes so people can find you and come and take a look at your beautiful paintings. I'm in love with your trees because I love trees.
Oh, right, thank you. Yeah.
There's a tree right behind you, Margot.
I know. It's growing out of your head.
It actually looks like it's growing right out of you. I love it. and watch for the screenshots in our stories in the next little while.
Yes. And so one quick thing I want to say before we say thank you and goodbye is next week, remember, is No Brush Required Read. So any of you guys who haven't read this book, All the Beauty in the World, it's about the Metropolitan Museum of Art and a man who spent 10 years there as a security guard. And it made me want to quit my job
and become a security guard.
And become a security guard at the Met.
That's what I'm doing the rest of today. I finished Dear Edward and I'm starting All the Beauty in the World.
Oh, good.
So hopefully it'll still be in my brain by next Tuesday. So
it will be. It's a beautiful. I'm reading it.
That's what I've heard. That it's just an incredible book. Beautiful.
Great. Well,
thank you very much for inviting me on. I appreciate it, and a happy early holidays to both of you.
And to you as well. To you as well.
Thank you so much for joining us today. This was a great conversation.
Yeah.
Lots
to talk about.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks so much for being here with us. If you're watching on the replay, thanks for watching on the replay. And we will catch you next Tuesday with your book.
Our last one, right?
Homework
for
done.
2024.
Yeah, it's next week's our last chat before January. So last chat of the year. So bring a cocktail with your book if you want.
Yeah. Can I bring a cocktail? It's 2:00 here.
Yeah. It's 5:00 somewhere.
That's right. All right.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.